depth chart featured Adrian Peterson, Jerick McKinnon, and Matt Asiata to start the season. But this year, Latavius Murray, Dalvin Cook joined McKinnon as the Vikings' primary running backs. Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer on the team's running back competition.
It'll always be an open competition, but with the veteran guys, we've been doing phase 2, and he hasn't been working yet. Latavius hasn't, so we've got a long way to go before we make any determinations on any of that.
I just want to come in here, be the best player I could be. That Fred Taylor was a great running back. I couldn't sit up here and say I could compare myself to him. So I just want to be the best I could be and come in here and help this organization, win a lot of football games.
Well, 'tis the season for the rookie I just want to contribute sound bites, which is exactly what they should say. But it's just that time of year. It always fast forward 6 months and it's always a different story. Let me ask you this, though, Josina, who gets the bulk of the carries in Minnesota?
I think you bring Latavius Murray in there to, be your workhorse, particularly on first and second down. This is a guy that was still productive for the Oakland Raiders. The thing that you like with Dalvin Cook is that he's going to give you versatility. I remember talking to him in the process of the path leading up to the draft, and a lot of the teams that were working him out were also trying to look at his ability to catch in the backfield. So I think he's going to be able to give that to you in terms of rushing and receiving, and they would like the opportunity to combine those skill sets. But he's a veteran. He can steady them behind that offensive line that needs some tweaking from last season as well and go forward without Adrian Peterson.
When you look at these two depth charts, and by that I mean Minnesota's last year's backfield compared to this one, on paper, improved or not improved?
Well, if you factor in that Adrian Peterson wasn't Adrian Peterson last year, you have to say it's improved. I think the key thing to watch with these backs is which one can help the most in the passing game. And by that I mean as a receiver and as a pass protector, because the protection of Sam Bradford was a huge problem last year, and it is a major focus this year. Dalvin Cook's opportunity will trace the speed with which he's able to pick up their protections and handle those things in their system.
Well, let's look at some of the other backfields that will have a different look altogether when the new season rolls around. And we'll start, Dan, with the Bengals.
Bengals took Joe Mixon in the second round. We all have been over and over Joe Mixon's story, and for good reason. We will continue to go over Joe Mixon's story. But Jeremy Hill, a former second-round pick of theirs, 1 year left on his rookie contract. If Mixon, has the kind of year they would hope and expect him to have, that probably makes Jeremy Hill expendable at the end of this year. So you have to look, if you're Jeremy Hill, at a guy coming in possibly to take your job. Obviously, Mixon, no sure thing. An extremely ugly, violent incident in his past off the field. Should something like that happen again, then the Bengals, have to switch gears. But as of now, they hope and believe that Joe Mixon will be a great player for them, and probably they move on from Jeremy Hill.
All right, up next, the Broncos, Josina. Also some changes in that backfield.
Well, you're looking at C.J. Anderson, who got injured last season, Week 7, with that meniscus, missed the rest of the season. But they also bring in Jamal Charles, who is coming off of an injury as well. Hasn't played that much over 2 years. I talked to C.J. Anderson last night. He's like, everybody in Denver is wondering who's going to start, who's not going to start. But he said the both of us know that we're going to contribute. Right now, they got an extra mini camp of the draft because they got the new coach out there, and he said that he was able to go in some 7-on-7s, just a couple of snaps in the 11-on-11 periods that they had in that workout. But he says he's about close to 100, and he figures the two of them will get along great. They've known each other from the time that they participated in the Pro Bowl in 2014, and they're looking forward to having success together.
Dan, if, and I know that's the operative word here, if Jamal Charles stays healthy, what does he bring this Broncos backfield?
Explosiveness. It's a guy that averages better than 5 yards per carry for his career. And the Broncos running backs haven't really had that kind of guy. I don't want to call C.J. Anderson a plotter, but he's not a five. There are very few 5-yard per carry backs.
Like a Mack truck.
So he brings an extra element if he can stay healthy and contribute.
So this final team, curious to me in a lot of ways. What about the Redskins?
Yeah, Washington drafts Samaje Perine in the middle rounds, Mixon's teammate at Oklahoma. Washington was 29th in the league in red zone efficiency last year. It's an area they really, really want to improve. They add a running back who scored 49 touchdowns in 3 seasons at Oklahoma. This is no coincidence. They finished the season with Rob Kelly as their starting running back. They liked Rob Kelly, but he was not productive at the goal line in the red zone. It's an area of their team that they really wanted to focus on this offseason, and Perine is a guy who's probably going to get an opportunity to help them fix that problem.
Rob Kelly, by the way, led the Redskins in rushing with 704 yards.